everybody, and welcome back. Just when we thought we were done with the wormwood crown, right? Just when we thought we were done. But no, I decided to, yes, add the mink ribs to the working. It looks lovely, especially with my hair down. I'm going to try it on. These are the mink ribs. I've tied them all onto little strips of leather. But I made the strips of leather thinner than the others because the ribs are so tiny. And I'll show you how to do that. But let me show you the crown when I put it on. And let's bring our light from our altar first, okay? Now that we're starting this working up again. Bringing that light from the altar to the candle. And now perhaps using the incense as an offering to a deity to assist you in your working. So we will give this incense to Santa Muerte. We'll let it burn for her. Yesterday we burned one for William during the blood magic. Did a blood magic video on YouTube. It was a trigger warning video though, so be careful if you're sensitive to blood. Alright, now that that's being taken care of, we've got our light for our working, we've got that. Remember we added Rose of Jericho water for resurrection of spirit, to this candle, and then we also added to this candle here, oh right, a little astral oil, which I told you the ingredients in the prior video, and then you could also add this to the candle, as this is one that you cannot add to the body, okay? So, still noting a whole entire book of shadows over here on my typewriter. That's my process. I've tapered off from it for a while because I was just relying on my YouTube videos. This is never a good idea because we never know when that platform could just be gone. And there would be all your information. So, really getting back to the typewriter and trying to at least get my spells written down. Lighting up our candle with our pentacle in it over here. And that always looks beautiful when it burns. It's lovely. Okay, so we will be tying these on, but let me show you what this looks like when we try it on. If you're bringing that up and over a flame, you better be careful, because if this catches on fire, it would be dangerous. Always have light around when you're working. Always have water around when you're working candles. So I am quite happy with the way that it turned out. When I have my hair down, my head's a little bigger. And it doesn't feel like it just wants to slide right off. So this is what it looks like. Now, I would be totally happy with it just as it is. But I do feel like we could definitely add these little mink ribs. So after they're tied on, they look just kind of like this. And in my book of shadows, this is how I've noted it. Cut suede extra thin and tie 9 mink ribs with 2 knots at the knuckle of the rib bone. So I'm calling this the knuckle of the rib bone, this little area there where it has a notch. That way the rib won't slip out. Each rib, because all ribs are different and where they are in the rib cage, each rib will look a little bit different, their knuckles and so on. Some ribs won't even really have knuckles. So I tried to pick all the ones with knuckles. I don't know if that's the correct terminology. Again, I'm not a doctor. I'm just an herbal witch, you know. Just an herbal witch. Yeah, if that could be my mantra for my life, I think I'd have a lot less intrusion. Okay, so as you know, this crown is going to give lettings. Every time I even pick it up to put it on, dandelions kind of fly off. And that's what's meant to happen. That's just meant to happen like after we're done wearing it. So, in the picture that we drew, I had them dangling around by the face, like in a row like this. But I'm changing it up. I think I'll have them come down about this far in different levels. Like one level will be this short, one level will be that short, and go all the way around the back. So I have nothing more in my face, because I want the focal point for the face to be the skull and then me. So I think I'll have these come, I'll tie them onto the crown and have them come down and around at different angles throughout the crown. And that's what we're going to do right now. So first I'm going to tip you down and show you. We're going to have to take the crown off, of course. I'm going to tip you down and show you how to cut this suede extra thin. When we tied this suede here, this is nice and thick because if you pull it too tight, the suede could snap. But I was willing to take that chance when tying on these bones because they're so small. I didn't want the suede to overpower the bone, if that makes sense. So we'll tip you down. And we'll get started. Now I've already typed that over here in my book of shadows, so we just have to do the actual tying. It's already noted. Yay, yay, yay. Alright, so the fact is that I won't know the length of them, so I'm not going to be able to make them perfect throughout. That's the kind of witchcraft jewelry I make. It's not perfect. It's meant to look that way, so that's excellent for me. If I were to say how to do this again, I would put the dandelions in very last, because they're kind of just tuck-ins anyway. I would tie the dandelions in last if I had to do this again because they're doing too many lettings on my table. And I would really have them, I want them to spread their seeds outside because that's the magic of it, right? You have this wish, just like when we're children, blow on a dandelion for a wish. That's witchcraft. And it's excellent, but it's witchcraft. Blow on this dandelion and the seeds will fly across the land, and when it plants, your intention will plant and start growing as well. How freaking gorgeous and beautiful, but we want the lettings to happen when we're outside. So let's start tying on, and again we're going to have to do some trimming and stuff like that. Oh, are we tipped down? Yeah. And you decide how many knots you tie on here, but I'm going to go back to my 3. Oh no, this, see? It was so small and thin it broke. That's the hazard. Okay, a little more delicate than I thought, y'all. So tying these thin strips, don't even tie them tight. Just very lightly pull in your intention. And try and get at least 2 knots in there. Asking the spirit of the cow to be with you in the working, help assist you, stay strong. Thank it for its presence. Thanking you, spirit of the mink, of the cow, and of the peacock, for your presence in this working. So now that we've got one on there, we'll just kind of hold it up and see how it looks. I may go out and pick some extra dandelions to put in the crown for after I've made it. It didn't get very long because it broke. But yeah, I'd like them to be a bit longer. I don't like the way that looks there. And you just have to play with it until it comes to you. But tie all those little strips on. Tie all of the mink bones on until you are happy with how they are. If you're going to do this crown, definitely do the dandelion seed last. Jeez. So yeah, I'm going to give this some more tries and we'll get that all perfect. But I just wanted to show you the method of tying it on and my ideas for that. But let's get started on the chicken foot necklace. I'm going to put those there and this back over the candle and work on this and just let myself take a long time to do it because it's so, like, tiny and difficult, you know, and I don't think you'd be able to see very well. But what I'll end up doing is just really playing with that and taking my time and just really being careful with those leather strips that are so small. How did I cut them so small? Where did that leather strip go? I just took... See, this is how thick the other ones were that we went to go put into, about that thick on the finger, that we went to put into the and tie on the herbs and tie the wormwood together. But and you're like, how am I going to get this any smaller? That's what I was thinking. Well, I just placed my scissors right in between, took it real slow, and let my fingers be a guide. Just real slow inching up that leather right in between, in the middle, until you finally are able to come up with a very thin strip. Just please remember you can't pull them tight or they'll snap, just like I demonstrated. Which are great for little tassels on jackets and that, but if you actually pull on them, suede is quite soft. So we got that strip into 2 thin ones, and that's what we made to tie on those mink ribs, right? So I'm going to get back to that on my own. Remember that you can anoint this leather and have it be an aromatherapy diffuser, okay? So that's real nice to have that aromatherapies and essential oils around your crown chakra. Now what we're going to do is start on the chicken foot necklace. We have got a chicken's foot. We have got a milk thistle that we grew in our garden last year. Very bright purple, very sharp. I've poked this up myself on this many times. Milk thistle is for males to call and enrage snakes. So I love to use milk thistle because I'm a girl and nobody tells me I can't use something and not. It's a duality thing for me. The crown is for duality. It's a king crown, but I'm a woman and I want to wear a king crown. And then we're going to be adding this stone from Kayla, and that is going to be that. We might even perhaps add this little copper wand. I haven't decided yet. And we may perhaps add the lava beads that we left out of the crown. We'll see how it goes. So we've got 20 minutes. Let's see what kind of a necklace we can make in 20 minutes. And if it can even be done at all. Okay, let's use this one. I like black hemp. I'm a big fan of black hemp. I feel, and this is a nice thin one that I got at the craft store for jewelry making. I feel like I picked that up when I was younger. In the 90s, we were playing hacky sack and tying hemp. Like, that's what was popular, and that's what my crowd was doing. So, hemp is fantastic. Hemp is really cool too because hemp is good for visions. Like one of its Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs says that it's excellent for visions. And if we're trying to do this for, psychic awareness and spirit calling, you want that hemp there so you can see the spirits if that's part of your goal. Me, for a long time, part of my goal has been to see my spirits. And I've been asking my spirit guides, telling them that I'm ready, really hoping to get the best result out of that. So, again, I wrap my stuff like Blair Witch. Like, it's not going to look perfect, pretty. It's supposed to look kind of messy that's how I do my workings. I don't want to call them messy because they're put together that way, but I just like to call it the Blair Witch style. So just wrapping that super tight. The tighter you can get it around the stone, the better. The stone actually has an angle to it too, like some jaggy points, and I'll show you that when I pick it up, what I'm exactly talking about there, that the hemp will hold on to. You could certainly use, pliers or tweezers, but I like to get saliva on my own garments when I'm making them, so I pull with my mouth. And that's something I've not talked about on the channel before. If I'm making something for someone else, I never use my saliva. Why is that, you guys? I'm going to give you a minute to think about that. We talked about it yesterday a little bit, but not about saliva, about blood. And why would you never use your blood for somebody else's working? Well, saliva, holds your DNA as well, doesn't it? Alright, so now you got to figure out if that hemp, because hemp does move, so do you see how it's not perfect? It just looks kind of like loosely tied together. That's my Blair Witch style. However, I do know how to do pieces where it's a thick band of hemp. I know how to make it look pretty. But here we've got this here, and then now we're going to be tying in this milk thistle, which I'm kind of thinking I might want to use my bigger milk thistle. Let me go grab it. It's a hard decision. It's a hard decision. I feel like either would be great, but I feel like this is too big. But at the same time, it's got a longer stem. But that stem could break, and then it would be all worthless. So I'm going to use this little one just because I've had it with the working. I've been blessing it in for the working. This is so pretty to me. This is just one of the prettiest things in the world. This milk thistle. Okay. Sharp. Sharp as all get out as well. And I think I'm going to be adding the milk thistle to the foot so that it's like this. And I'll be doing that with black hemp and binding the milk thistle right there to the foot. So I'm going to set this necklace part aside. I've tied it with 2, now 3 knots. And when you knot it, you're putting your intention into that knot, okay? So it's psychic awareness and spirit communication and duality. Psychic awareness, spirit communication, and duality. Psychic awareness, spirit communication, and duality. I'm holding that tight the whole time I'm saying that. So I'm pulling my intention into those knots, y'all. Your intention will stay in those knots. So what I'm thinking is that this is going to be dangling below, but now I can't get it flat. I'll have to play. We'll have to play. See if we can get it to balance out by putting a little black hemp on the tip. And I'm well aware that you can't really see what I'm doing, but I don't know how to film that way. So I'm trying to tell you what I'm doing. I'm putting the knots at the side of the stone. I want to touch my skin to be flush with my chest. I'm putting them there because obviously it'll look a lot cleaner when they're touching my body, and on the outside of the necklace you can just see the nice clean lines. Even though they're uneven, they're still going to be clean lines without knots. So really pulling in your intention. Psychic intuition and spirit communication and duality. Psychic intuition, spirit communication, and duality. Psychic intuition, spirit communication, and duality. Okay. And there we go. Now it stays flat. Before it tipped over to the side, now it stays flat. So the cool thing about this stone is that it's got beautiful crystals on the front as well as the back. So these crystals are going to actually be touching my body, which makes me happy. Because you really do want it to resonate with the skin as much as possible. So there we are. I'm just going to bring that back to the middle and tie it under some of those knots because I want to hide the string, but I'm not going to be able to do it. It's fine. But I don't use super glue, y'all. I will not use super glue on a working unless it's like a piece of art, and even then I'm like, you know, if it has herbs, I just don't like the way it resonates at all. That's me personally, though. If you guys don't feel like it muddles with the working, you know. I won't use plastic, though, either. I only use glass. So, you know, some people have deeper feelings about the vibrations of material. I'm one of those folks. Okay, so we've gotten this bit here, and it should just hang kind of there. Okay, just kind of at an angle, that's fine. However it does is fine with me, but do you see how it doesn't look perfect? It just looks kind of, you know, made in the woods. Alright, so that's the bottom piece. Now we need to do the chicken's foot. So, let's see if we can't get these tied together. How much time do we have? We have 10 more minutes. We might get this done. Maybe. Maybe not. green. If and when my necklaces fall apart, because they do not last forever, I use them as leadings. So I'll use the stone in the working. I'll use the chicken foot and something. Everything that comes apart from it, now it's time for workings. I'm never sad if one of my necklaces break. And honestly, they're so affordable that, like, if they break, now you've got ingredients and you spent tons of amazing time with it. How can you complain about that? No. Ouch! Ouch. Pricked me again. It's all better for the working, though, because my energy's gone into that. I pricked myself with this so many times. Really, so many times. Because I've had it for so long. Moved it around and stuff. So we want this to be hanging below, like in the picture. Kind of like this, hanging about there. So measure where you'd like it to be, and then just kind of start wrapping it around the this part, the skinniest part of the chicken's foot. Kind of like a woman's waist, the skinniest part is right below her breasts. Well, the skinniest part of a chicken's foot is right here. And now is where we're going to add, we've done a few loops around. Now we're going to add in the milk thistle and see if we can't get it tied in there without hurting ourselves too badly. Come on. Don't poke me again. So just as tight as we can make it. When you go to tie it, that's the hardest part because it has to stay really tight. So make sure you've got plenty length. You can always cut more length. And we're going to tie this together. Pulling in our intent with the knot. There's lots of saliva on the string. I'm personally a fan of that. And I'm going to do 9 knots. I'm at 3, this is 4. And I need to type 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is probably one of the weirdest looking videos out there. 8. Intention, pulling in your intention, and 9. You could pick 11 if you wanted to. And as a matter of fact, I think we'll do 11 because I'm trying to get this a bit longer here. Here's 10. And 11. So let's see what we've got. It's nice and tight so far right now. So it's looking like, without the string, it's looking like this. So it'll be longer, it'll be lower, maybe like this. Oh wait, we have it upside down. My bad, y'all. It'll be like this, but lower. You could place it wherever you want to place it. If you want it up top right over the heart chakra, it would almost be like you're protecting your heart. You know what? I don't have any chicken foot necklaces where they're up top like this, and I like where that hangs. So let's keep it right over the heart chakra in this case. Love it. And the fact that the milk thistle is green and the heart chakra resonates as a green. So, amazing. I need to type some things in my book of shadows. I'm at 24 minutes. We have about 5 minutes left. We're doing good, y'all. If you wanted to, you could certainly kind of like twist this into some of the hemp and have it coming out of the side. Or you could make one that's smaller. I add these to a lot of chicken foot necklace workings. There we are for now. I'm going to leave that long tail because I have to have something to attach the main necklace onto. So leave that tail there. What am I going to type? The last thing I said was cut extra suede. So now we got to go to the necklace. All right. Wormwood. Wait. So chicken foot, milk. Okay, what is this? Necklace for wormwood duality crown. Or what are we going to call this? Heart chakra chicken foot necklace. Heart chakra chicken foot necklace. What's it for, y'all? Protection of heart chakra, because that hand is right over your heart. I love it. Wear it when you're out with like an ex-lover or your narcissist friends or whatever, but protect that heart chakra. Space key's not working? Are you kidding me? What's happening? The space key won't work? That's the worst thing that could happen. My space key broke. That's horrible. Ah! Oh, now it won't move at all. Oh, I see. Oh, it's fine. This thing wasn't letting it go. That's hilarious. Ding! Oh, Claire, I love you, darling. Alright, so heart chakra chicken's foot necklace for protection of heart chakra. Claire, you're going to have to sit over here, sugar. You don't want to. There we go. Whoop! So next thing we need to write is what we did. So we took black hemp for inducing visions. Milk thistle grown in 2018. Harvested in 2018. I believe this is some sort of quartz. I'm not sure. But this is never been touched by any human hands besides mine, Kayla's, and her husband's. He mined this out of a mine over in West Virginia. So Kayla's stone from West Virginia. Cavern. Never touched by other human hands. Except the three of us. And so tie thistle at the wrist of chicken's foot. and hang stone below. At the wrist of chicken foot. You'll get it when you work with them. And remember, by adding the chicken's foot, we're adding another animal spirit to these workings, right? White peacock feather, mink, chicken. I feel like we're missing somebody in here. Oh, and the cow, the leather. Tie crystal at wrist of chicken's foot. That meant to say not crystal. Not crystal, but milk thistle. With black hem. Hang crystal below, oh, suspended below foot. And then the last thing we're going to be doing is just making, we're at 30 minutes, so I have to stop the video. Come back for the finishing of the necklace itself, you guys. And we'll see the ribs all tied on. So come back for that video. I'll see you guys soon. Love you much.